Rich Rodriguez and company continue to cook, man. Multiple four-star possibilities have already been to Morgantown and will be coming to Morgantown to visit. We got to break them down. We got to talk about it. And a pipeline is being built, man. This recruiting surge has been massive and impressive to watch.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, guys? Welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host here. Welcome back into Locked On West Virginia, guys. I appreciate it for the second time today, and we're going to be diving into some recruiting talk today. This on a great Monday, man. Happy to be here as always. And look, we're going to be brought to you by FanDuel today. With FanDuel, we got to know this: the winter games are on, right? And there's no better way to follow them than with a bet on FanDuel. So do that today with FanDuel. Play your game. Thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen, and for being a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where we're talking about your team, the Mountaineers, every single day. The Mountaineers every single day. Got to get that right. And look, 55 million views a month, the number one sports podcast network in the country. That includes Barstool and everybody else. Don't ask me how, but we are grateful for that. Appreciate you guys in the chat right now. I'm always going to shout out to Devil Dog, man. Appreciate that. Samuel, what's up, guys? Thank you guys so much for being here. So, okay, let's talk about what the show's about. So today I decided to dive in on the Edna Karr players that West Virginia signed this year. There's three, right? And Edna Karr being one of the premier stops in all of high school for high school football. And the question is West Virginia building a pipeline to Edna Karr? We're going to look at the three players, right? We're going to look at John Johnson III. We're going to look at Greg Wilfred. And we're going to look at Terron Francis, who are all going to be on the team this year and have all played together. I don't know if Wilfred and Francis played together, but Johnson, I think, played with both. So, you know, they're all three a brotherhood, right? And it's probably, of all the high school recruits that we've brought in, some of the most impressive tape you're going to watch, because it's against elite competition. So you get to see what they're really made of. And then obviously we're going to start with some more recruiting news, as West Virginia, I think, is trending in a really strong direction for both these guys. One guy has been to campus already and plans to come back. Another guy has West Virginia in his top six. They're both West Virginia are in both top six. And then the other guy plans on coming to Morgantown soon. I've spoken to him multiple times. So yeah, I also spoke to his brother when West Virginia was recruiting him out of the portal. So I've covered these before, but I hadn't been able to study the tape on both of them. As a matter of fact, little funny quick story is Bronx Baker is one of the guys, and he is a four-star linebacker. And, you know, when I turned on his film, I used his X account. Well, it's his brother's high school film on his X account, and I didn't know that. So I was breaking his brother's film down. I was talking about him highlights-wise. I was watching the highlights. So I had to go. It's so hard to find high school football full games, you know. So you've got to do it based off the huddle stuff. But, you know, it's still a pretty good tool. I'm grateful to have it. And so we're going to start with another guy, though. We're going to start with the wide receiver that West Virginia is currently really, really tight with. Just decommitted from Syracuse. He's a four-star wide receiver out of McKeesport, Pennsylvania. And that's Jabian Robinson. Guys, this is an explosive accelerator. He eats cushion on DBs in two steps, which you'll see. DBs panic whenever he gets on them quick, man. He is Chris Henry-like. I'm telling you, he's not quite as tall. He's about 6'2", but he's got incredible vertical tracking. He locates the ball naturally over either shoulder. He plays in a bad offense, to be honest with you. They play in a wishbone-style offense, but they throw it deep to him, you know, and he is by far their biggest playmaker, which you'll see on tape. And he runs great routes, too, for a guy that's in this style offense. his stride efficiency. We were talking about the Christopher Talley earlier and how his stride looked a lot like Pat White's. This is another guy that's got really good stride efficiency. I really like it. When the ball's in the air, he doesn't gear down. You know what I mean? Like he does a great job of managing it without gearing down, if that makes sense. Some guys are better at it than others. I don't know if it's probably something you can practice. But like, for instance, like you'll see some guys, they'll stutter step, or they'll put the brakes all the way on. And some guys can keep, it looks like they're still running even when the ball's underthrown sometimes. And it allows them to keep that forward momentum when they do catch it. Some guys have that better than others, right? He is a natural hands catcher, which you will see. He plucks the ball from away from himself. He's pickies together if it's low, thumbs together if it's high, which is basic, but it's something to watch, and he does it well. And he's got that big play DNA, man. He doesn't need a lot of volume. He flips the daggone, he tilts the field just because of the athleticism that he has. He understands leverage. He's got good spatial awareness. He speeds up, slows down, and manipulates his routes on a lot of plays. And I think he's also, he's really good at corner as well. And that two-way experience serves him well when he's playing wide receiver. If you look at his hip transitions, I know I'm getting a little deep in the weeds on this one, but I really like his hip transitions, which you will see, is critical for like post routes, overs and double moves, like that kind of stuff. You got to look at the hips, right? And his long speed, man, he's got it. So there's a reason this guy only had. His production isn't crazy, but it's obvious when you watch him. Like he plays in an offense that runs the ball 80% of the time. So, it's like whenever they go deep, he's wide open. To be honest, it's surprising they don't have the offense made around him. But hey, I'm not here to judge because they did have a 5-star running back. And so, he went to Georgia. So, I get it, but gosh, man, to have a wide receiver stud like this and still run a wishbone, like under center style is crazy to me. He's also really physical, and he's trending, like he's on his way up. He's a true outside Z or an X wide receiver that's going to stress safeties vertically. He's going to be great in the RPO style system, which is great for run first offenses, which is one of the reasons he's so good where he's at. He'll be a red zone mismatch. He's so good, guys. Like I haven't seen many guys like him in a while that I've been this excited about at receiver. So like, get ready because I love this guy's film a lot. We're going to put him on first. This is Jabian Robinson, 6'2", 190, a 4'4" guy out of Pennsylvania. And here he is right here at the bottom of your screen. And you see how quick he ate that space up, and look at his size. Great job there going up and high pointing that ball. Once again here, you'll see he gets up into the DBs quickly when he does do it. But look at the natural, he's just got such a smooth stride, man. Love his stuff. When he does run vertically, you'll see he eats the cushion way up. Oh, this is blocking. Yeah, I forgot. He blocks a lot too. And he does a pretty good job in blocking. He actually shows a few blocking plays. So nice little move there. And you can see he's just got such a smooth stride. And he ends up in places you don't expect him, I love his athleticism. I really do. I think it's just really, really good. I'll be into here. He's the top of your screen on a block here. So as you can see, like they've got this 5-star running back that they number 2 here that they're sending to Georgia, which, what are you going to do? No wonder, but here he is again. I love this catch. That's a tough catch. Once again, look at this wishbone kind of look, but it's like what Army would run. But surprising a guy like this didn't transfer, like not that I don't know. If I were his people, I I would probably tell him to, but he's got 4-star rated, so it must not be hurting him that bad. But yeah, I mean, you see him here in the slot, great move, weaving through traffic, and he's just a smooth, fluid athlete. I really like him a lot, guys. So look at that little double move right there, and just look at the fluid ability of him to run and to cut back inside. I mean, that's a beautiful play. I think there's one more here, and yeah, you'll see. Okay, on look at those hips. I think there's one more. Watch those hips flip. Bam. Great job, man. So he's a guy that you could see coming in, and by the time he's a redshirt freshman getting major playing time, he's going to be a little raw just because that offense they play in. They don't run a ton of concepts, I would imagine. But he's really good at getting deep. So in RichRod's offense, you can play early and often when you're doing that. Ryan Garrett and him have made a big time, connection. And he has a lot of good things to say about that situation. So he actually said it was better than he expected. So let me see if I can find it. Yeah. So, he's got more than a dozen Power 4 programs, which he's got Miami, West Virginia, Pitt, Syracuse, Rutgers, and a lot of others, so he's got a little bit of everybody coming after him. And he said West Virginia was a good experience, better than what I thought. He told WestVirginiaSports.com. He spent a lot of time with Ryan Garrett, and he said they feel I have a chance to play early, and I feel I do so also. And look, I mean, I could see that out of him. I could see him playing early. He's got a lot of ability. The love from the offensive staff is great, he said. He told Adam Gorney. So, he loves the offensive staff, right? He is the number 13 player in Pennsylvania, top 50 wideout. And we'll see exactly what happens here, man. But he's not the only one. We talked about Bronx Baker as well. We'll shift gears and move into Bronx Baker right after the break here. And of course, guys, we have to talk about our friends at FanDuel right now. And right now with FanDuel, if you didn't know, now you know. Right now with FanDuel, it's the games are coming, right? Winter games are on their way, and it's officially actually here. If you're anything like us, you're looking for events that you can get to see on the biggest stage every 4 years. And that's why the winter games on FanDuel just makes sense, from medal counts to individual events, to finding your angle on the sports you care about most. FanDuel gives you the opportunity to do that and stay connected to the action. Even niche events become must-watch when you're fully locked into the competition. So FanDuel keeps the entire Olympic experience engaged from start to finish. The winter games are on, and there's no better way to follow them than FanDuel, guys. It's really big because there's another thing you can do: hockey games, speed skating, everything. Do it all today with FanDuel. Play your game. And, of course, in segment 2, I will crack a do to you as we dive back into some recruiting here. Then we'll get to the guys from Edna Karr. Bronx Baker, I like him a lot. He's another guy that I can see fitting into – I can see why Zach Alley would be intrigued here. Another 4-star linebacker that's kind of all over the map in some ways. You look at him and as far as like his interests, he's got a little bit of everybody looking at him. Not surprised because of the talent level he has. He is a 6'1", 6'2"-ish, 215. He had 66 tackles, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble last year. Multiple outlets talk about his speed and football IQ, and that comes across on tape. You'll see how instinctive he is, guys. We're going to go ahead and put his film on. Let's see. Where is it? It will be right here. So, as you can see, guys, he's a very, as you can see here, rival 300 2027 rankings, clocked at 20 miles an hour. And look at that speed coming in. Bam! Holy cow, man. What a running ability he has. There's a play he makes on 4th down on a blitz. And this is the kind of athlete that Zach Alley just loves to have in his defense, a guy that can play the run or the pass, that can run sideline to sideline and really make an impact, right? Because he is that dude. Like you see him lined up in the slot here, getting a pick and running that thing back. He's a super talented guy, man. I really like him. I think he's a guy too that, all these 4 stars I love. I think you see he's got some decent size, and he's one of those guys that would be like a Jacob Rodriguez, right? The athletic type linebacker that you see nowadays. He could probably play a little bit of nickel. So there's a lot to him there, man. And playing in the middle here for this defense, I don't really know where they project him at it for West Virginia, because he can do a little bit of everything. So once again, another guy that you have to feel pretty good about for West Virginia. And, what I see on tape is, he had the volume, the tackle volume. He had around 10 tackles per game. He's always around the ball. He's a backfield kind of disruptor. He gets a lot of TFLs. He's this guy that's really got a lot of scheme versatility because he can fit multiple fronts, and nickel structures as well. Because, look, I think the early path as well for him, if you're talking about projecting him to West Virginia, is he'll probably be within the 2 deep with special teams impact pretty quick. Long term, he could probably be a signal caller at the Mike spot, or he could be at will, depending on, what Zach Alley wants to do. But I do think he would be a tackling machine at some point at West Virginia. And I'm excited about his potential. I really am. I think he's a dude that you have to say, like, number one, he's got the sideline to sideline speed. He's got that quick trigger quickness, like you saw him trigger on the one play where it said he ran 20 miles an hour. The closing burst on that play, really high motor. My favorite thing about him, though, is his what way would I put it? His instincts, I guess. His fast read, fast react is, his play recognition, fast read, fast react. He's got assignment discipline too. A great communicator, right? So I really like a lot. He's got a lot of great traits. And you look at there, some of those plays, he timed his blitzes really well. He closes on the quarterback or whoever he's going after really quickly. He's the modern Big 12 linebacker. That's it. He's space capable and he's physical. So you look at the Mike or Will nickel potentially, like I said, in special teams, and he'll fit in anywhere. Like he's one of those guys you can plug him in about anywhere. All right, so we're going to move on now because I want to get to these Edna Karr guys. So we're going to go ahead and go to another break and just go ahead and get through this. And we're going to come back and we're talking about 3 players that West Virginia has on their team right now that are just so impressive in multiple ways. I mean, they're all just freaking crazy good athletes. And I am so excited to see how West Virginia uses them. And we're going to talk about it next. And we're going to be talking about our friends from Wayfair on this one. And look, if you want Wayfair, it's pretty simple to find, really. They do a great job, and support, is there for you if you need anything. But as far as I know, the new year is here, and it's the perfect time to reset your routine and refresh your space. If you're spending more time at home, you might as well love how it looks and feels, because that's why you should turn to Wayfair. It's a one-stop shop for getting your home back on track. From bedding and mattresses to storage solutions for every room, Wayfair makes it easy to start from the year fresh. Wayfair has everything you need, by the way, for a full home refresh, all in one space. Whether you're updating your living room, organizing your space, or upgrading your work from home setup, Wayfair's huge selection makes it easy to find exactly what works for your style and budget. I picked a few new bedding options and pillow accents from Wayfair, and they were really good, and they actually completely changed how my bedroom feels. It's cleaner, it's calmer, it's more put together. It honestly made getting back into a routine of the new year kind of feel a little more manageable for me. And if you too want to get organized, refreshed, and back on track this year, do it for way less with Wayfair. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop all things home. That's WAYFAIR.com with Wayfair. Every style, every home. And of course, we have to remind you of our friends at Indeed. We love Indeed College, and why shouldn't we, guys? You know what it is. Hiring isn't just about finding somebody willing to take the job. It's about finding the right person with the right background who can actually help your business move forward. And if you want candidates who match what you're looking for, Indeed Sponsored Jobs is the move, because instead of hopping right from person to person or hoping the right person stumbles across your post, Indeed helps you match quality candidates by boosting your job listing to the people who fit your specific criteria. It's pretty simple stuff like skills, certifications, location. So if I were hiring, I wouldn't just want somebody who can help anybody. I would want somebody with real experience who can jump right in. It saves time because you're spending less energy on sorting through all those mismatches. And here's a stat that says it all. In the 1.5 minutes I've been talking to you, companies like yours have made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates, and check all your boxes with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. And listeners of this show will get $75 sponsored job credit to help you get your job for the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast, where the terms and conditions apply. If you're hiring, do it the right way with Indeed. I muted myself. All right, so we are back here and talking a little bit more about this situation with Edna Karr players, right? There are three. And I decided because I'm looking for topics, right? And so I thought this would be a good one because there are players on their team that are going to be good every year. They're a nationally ranked high school team. So they've always got 4- and 5-star talent on the field and a lot of good 3-star talent too. And so if these guys come in and do well for West Virginia, you then take that back to Edna Karr and say, hey, look, John Johnson did X and XYZ, or Greg Wilfred did XYZ, or Terron Francis did XYZ this past year, and we can do that for you at West Virginia. And then they're telling them, yeah, it's a great place to come. So and then obviously the coaching staff at Edna Karr feels good about sending their guys to you because they know you're going to treat them right. So when you talk about culture, I think the relationship with staff, coaches, and high schools don't get talked about enough. And this is a great start with one of the very best there is around in the country. Are you going to be LSU out for Edna Karr players? Rarely, maybe 1% of the time, right? But, can you beat them out for some of the fringe 3- to 4-star guys? Yeah, because they're going to have other priorities. And that's West Virginia. We can live there. We can eat there. We can get down in the mud and we can waller it out, baby. We can get around in there. You know what I'm saying, bub? So we're going to talk with, we're not going to talk with anybody, but we're going to talk about these three guys. And they're all very talented. They're all very fast. They're all very athletic. And they're all very RichRod. I think that's the best way to put it. So I'm going to go ahead and start with John Johnson. What's up, guys? Hey, appreciate everybody in here. Yeah, I guess John Johnson would be the best place to start. I know a lot about him. I've watched a lot of his tape today. He's a guy, man, elite athlete. I don't know that there's anybody like I was thinking about this today. If John Johnson won our starting quarterback job, I would be excited. I really would be. Now, can he throw the ball well enough to be, in the Big 12 level? You know who you remind? I'll give you a great comparison for him. Devin Dampier. That's the comparison for me. He's faster, but he is very similar to Devin Dampier from a throwing standpoint. He's a guy that lives in that 10 to 15 yard range and does well. Beyond that, I don't know yet. I think when you get into West Virginia, you have to work with him because he's going to play quarterback at first. That doesn't mean he'll stay there. He's so good of an athlete, though. I mean, if you just put the ball in his hands, he might be as dynamic as any one of these players. If you look at his production, it's crazy. He had insane production. He's 6 feet, 195. 8,539 passing yards, 88 touchdowns, 65% completion percentage, 2,500 rushing yards, 47 touchdowns on the ground, 130 something touchdowns overall, and over 11,000 total yards. 135 touchdowns, 11,000 yards, 14-0, 5A state championships was the highest level you can be in Louisiana, and a top 10 nationally ranked team, number 1 in Louisiana. Do I have your attention yet? This is an elite dual threat guy. He's not a scrambler. Like he obviously can throw it around, but I just don't know if the arm is big enough and strong enough. You know what I mean? Like that's my biggest concern, but I don't want to downplay. Like he's got a shot. He's going to have a shot to play quarterback. I just don't know if he can or can't yet. We'll find out by how he progresses at West Virginia. So, you know, he's not 6'4", and that hurt him. He was evaluated as an athlete, and that hurt him. West Virginia got him because they told him he could try quarterback first. That's why they got him. That's out there. You can go read it. So he's going to be a developmental quarterback, but I do think you could bring him in as a package weapon. Like you don't have to play him at quarterback right away. Man, I've always wondered why, and maybe somebody can tell me this. Have you ever wondered why? You know how they can direct snap it to the running back beside the quarterback? Have you ever wondered why that you don't put two quarterbacks out there at once and you never know who's going to get it? You could direct snap it to one or the other. I don't know. I've always wondered why somebody didn't try that philosophy. But like this would, and you could have a quarterback that runs it and a quarterback that passes it, and you could hand it off to, they can hand it off to each other, and then each can do, or, you know, they can lateral it back. I don't know. It probably makes no sense. But getting back to John Johnson, let's get to the tape on him, right? Because I think that's where you're going to get excited first and foremost. And he's got a lot of good stuff on there. So I think this may be it. No, let's see. Boom. Trying to remember where everybody is. I had so many little clips. Yeah, this is John Johnson. First play of the game. We'll let you see it again. He's at quarterback. He's going to put it in the running back's belly and keep it. Look at the speed on this play. Boom, he's gone. And this is against the very best competition in Louisiana, by the way. So, I mean, surrounded by, you know, 3 and 4 and 5-star players. Just in crazy speed. And you see, once again, he's keeping it. You see the dynamic athletic ability that he has. It's so impressive. What a late pickup from West Virginia here. You've got to figure out a way to get him involved, right? I mean, he is so dynamic. And I'll say this. I love him at slot. You know, if you can't get him at quarterback, man, put him in the slot. Hopefully he's got some hands. And I think he's like a Rodney Gallagher, except way more gifted, you know? Like, I loved Rodney Gallagher, but I don't know if he was this dynamic, you know? Rodney Gallagher had good speed. He didn't have great speed. But, yeah, I mean, this guy can really fly. And obviously, if you can get him to throw it within the framework of an offense, he might be the best runner of all of our guys. Wyatt Walker-Brown is another guy that I really like as a runner. But, man, this guy can really run it too. It's tough, man. When you start evaluating all these guys, it's hard because I like all of them, and I can see all of them being good. And only one guy is going to be the quarterback, you know? So, like, what do? I don't know. These are all run plays, but he threw for 1 billion yards in high school. So, I guess I just maybe caught on to the part of the tape where he runs it a lot. But, yeah, I mean, he you know, I think a couple of these are pass plays. I thought, look at that start-stop ability, the ability to cut, bob, and weave in and out. I mean, can you see, like, I think he throws it on this play. No. I mean, you can see, man, he's got some Kyler Murray in him, running style-wise, not throwing. There's a throw, and that's a great throw, right? Dotted him. So he's got some ability there. We'll see what ends up happening. You know, like, you never know, man. If you're determined enough, you can do anything you want. He can come in and make himself a quarterback, and he's got the running ability to be elite in this offense. So, you know, he's just another – I just think that we're getting the guys in our program that people don't know about. Like, is John Johnson the third on everybody's radar? No, he's like a Pat White, right? He's a guy that's got a lot of ability, but you've got to figure out a way to mold that and make it work. And that gets me excited because that's where he hits his stride when he's doing that. All right, so we'll move on to the next guy here because we've definitely got to talk about, I suppose we'll go with Greg Wilfred next. This is a guy that he's going to be an elite special teams guy for us. Number one, he's only 5'9", but 166, but he's got a chance to be. Remember when I told you Jeff Weimer on film was the best route runner that I had seen at West Virginia in a couple years? That turned out to be true. And he, if he had one more year, I think Weimer would have an elite, probably 1,000-yard season. Unfortunately, he didn't get. He played on a bad team, and he was good enough to be that good. It's a shame because I hope he gets an NFL chance because I think Weimer's got a small chance to make it. But as far as Wilfred goes, he's not an outside guy. He's a slot guy. As far as slot receiver goes, he's got a bag. I mean, he can really run routes. Let me show you one. Let me just show you one. This is him as a sophomore in high school. You want to talk about a dude that can flat out run routes? Check this stuff out. Look at the move he puts on old boy right here.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Yep. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
That was years ago now. That was a couple years ago. Greg Wilfred is a really, really fast and quick guy. He's quicker than he is fast, but he's fast. And his highlight film is full of punt returns, kick returns. Like, you can't get through I don't know how many punt returns he had per touchdown. I counted at least 6. He's a special guy. He's another one that, by the way, him and John Johnson had an incredible state championship run. So you want to get some highlights on him. That's John Johnson. So Greg Wilfred right here. Here he is on the punt return. And you'll see, I mean, he breaks the tackle. He's got such great balance too. Keep in mind, this is in the state championship game versus a ranked nationally ranked team. So, I mean, it's impressive to say the least. This here isn't. The ones on the Saints field are. Although I don't know, the team they could be playing is really good as well. I have no clue, but you see his ability in the open field is special, and he can really fly. So he's another one that, like, from that Edna Karr group that you're like, holy cow, man, these dudes can all really play. And all they did was they'll just watch. I mean, he doesn't have to do much. That's a great route. That's a good route, man. He just fell in a soft spot in the zone. But most of the time, all they do is just leak him out and throw him a screen, and he'll make the first guy miss. Over and over again, that's what you see him do. Watch. Throw it out to him. Watch the first guy. I mean, he just makes a miss, and he's gone. And it's gone. And it's gone. That's the offense. Or they'll kick, or it's like kick him the ball, and he's gone. And he's gone. And here he is. I mean, how many punt returns is that on this highlight? It's the third one. So, this is a guy that's super dangerous. Another guy that you can see, like, okay, I remember Darius Raynaud. I remember Jock Sanders. Here he is on kickoff. Like, he's a special teams dynamo. Like, how is he not going to be on our kickoff or punt return like next year? I end up fast forwarding it because I'm like, where's the receiver plays at, I wanted to see him run a couple routes. Every time I turned around, he was catching a kickoff. There he is. He's leaked out. Watch. Boom. Make the first guy miss, and he's gone. So, Johnson is another guy. So is Wilfred. Both of them are super talented, obviously. Here he is on punt return again. Oh, God. I mean, how many yards did he have on punt return alone? Pretty incredible stuff, right? I mean, West Virginia what a pipeline to this Edna Karr that West Virginia's kind of set up here. And it's another punt return. I just turned it off. I'm like, okay, apparently he doesn't have – he had an incredible year, over 1,000 yards receiving, but every other thing's a punt return for a touchdown. I'm like, God, okay, I get it, Dad. It's not time. He's instant acceleration, short area burst and quickness, field position weapon, fearless with the ball in his hands. He's underrated because he's a small, and he's, a lot of people said he's just a returner. I think West Virginia will use him correctly as well. And then we got to get to the last guy quickly. Last, but certainly not least, I probably could have played him first. That's Terron Francis, who is going to possibly be West Virginia's number 1 or number 2 receiver this year. And what can you say about him? Every time I watch his film, I get chills because he's got a chance to really be like our diamond in the rough. 6'1", 207 pounds. I've said it over and over and over again, guys. He's a Deebo Samuel type player. He really is. He's so mean. He sticks his helmet right in your chest and will run you slap over. He had 1,300 yards and 14 touchdowns from John Johnson III, by the way, throwing in the ball. He's almost an athletic level sprinter. He 4x1 relay, top 3 finish in Louisiana is elite. He's got power and speed, man. He's an SEC X receiver, and we got him. And we're very lucky. He's also a vertical threat that eats up a ton of cushion. He stacks corners and makes them make a decision, and he plays off of that. I think he's obviously college ready because he's been in LSU for a year. But he was buried on their depth chart. But he was going to be the guy this year. I was told, I've asked multiple LSU content creators, and there's a lot of people that say he was going to be a guy this year. So let's get to his film really quick. As you can see here, his size is a little bit different. And once he gets on top of you, it's over. Great move, first of all. And then how about you just can't tackle me, and I'll drag you to the end zone. I love the fire right there too, right? How do you not love that? And then here he is with Greg Wilfred probably in the backfield on kick return. As you can see, great speed as well. So, he has everything you could possibly want. Look at him shot out of a cannon. I can't wait, guys, to see this guy in a West Virginia uniform. He's got a chance to be really good, doesn't he? And, come on, man. Look at this deep throw. Great throw by John Johnson here. So, you see and that's another good thing about this. You see more John Johnson's throwing. Just remember, this is 2 West Virginia players. Johnson at quarterback, him at receiver. So, yeah, as you can see, there's the Deebo, and he just breaks tackles, man. That's what he does. It's his thing. And here he is on punt return. So apparently he was the punt return guy before Wilfred came in there. And another great return here from him. So, the athleticism is there. The size is there, and the strength is there. Really everything is there. And I think he's going to be a number 1 or number 2, depending on Jaden Bray. Great post over the middle, by the way. Or great drag over the middle, I should say, not a post. But, obviously Jaden Bray, I think, will be a number 1 guy if he stays healthy. Or maybe Francis is still the number 1 guy. I don't know. It's all possible. But, I wouldn't be shocked. Look at that. That was a crazy play there from Johnson. But, yeah, so, is this a guy that can be number 1 West Virginia receiver this year? I think he can, but I like Jaden Bray just because he's already knows the offense and has a little bit of an edge. But this guy is, what a great player to learn from for Terron Francis. And, I can't wait to see what he does this year. I think he's got the chance to be sky's the limit for him as far as potential goes. Some people say he couldn't get on the field at Westwood. Like, some people are so negative, and some people are going to be so negative. Just know, guys, this guy is, if nobody else we talked about today works out, I'll be shocked if Terron Francis doesn't end up being something. He's just got that ability, so we shall see. All right, we're going to jump out. Appreciate you guys so much for all your support. Wanted to get 2 videos in today. We've accomplished that goal. So we're going to bounce out of here, but make sure you like the video, subscribe if you're new, share the video out if you don't mind, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of your evening. I'm going to read this comment before we go. WFEH Hardcore 1755 said, "My grandfather would have loved your show. He passed last Friday. Mountaineer fan for life, and he had season tickets for over 30 years. I'm really sorry to hear about your grandfather. My condolences go out to you and your family. If you would like to reach out to me personally on X or anywhere, I would certainly speak with you or whatever you would want, if that would help. So anything I can do to help, just let me know. All right, guys, we will be out of here. You'll be back tomorrow, as always, 7 days a week. Make sure you're checking out Locked On Every Dayer Club. I've been asking you guys to do that. I don't know how many of you have, if any. It sounds like nobody has, but I'll put the link in the chat one more time anyway. All I'm asking for you to do is just check it out. That's it. I think it's $5, but it helps me out a lot if you at least look into it and let me know what you think. And then check out Locked On College Football next. All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Love y'all. Q Country Roads.